Hi, glad you could join us at Couchbase Connect Online 2020. I'm Priya Rajgopal, Principal Product Manager at Couchbase, responsible for Couchbase Lite and Sync Gateway products, and I'll be sharing some major product updates today. For the benefit of those who are new to Couchbase, I'll be kicking off the session with a quick primer on Couchbase for mobile. So set the context for the new release, I'll be discussing the paradigm of edge computing. Then I'll dive into what's new in Couchbase Lite and Sync Gateway. So let's get started. So first, a quick background on the characteristics of business-critical mobile applications. First, guaranteed high availability is important to ensure that applications will be functional regardless of the state of network connectivity. This is essentially the concept of offline-first applications. App performance has a direct impact on perceived user experience. So users are likely going to stop using an application that takes too long to launch or respond. In some cases, such as healthcare diagnostic apps, the impact could be even more significant, literally a life and death situation. Now, apps in the consumer space or apps in the finance, healthcare sector, they deal with sensitive data. So adherence to strict data privacy rules is essential. The ability to securely store and transmit data is important. Now, when we're talking about mobile applications, we are talking about potentially hundreds of thousands of clients concurrently reading or writing data. So scalability is important. So let's take a quick look at the components of the Couchbase stack. Consider a mobile application that's running in a device disconnected from the network. You have Couchbase Lite, which is a NoSQL JSON database that can be embedded within your mobile applications. This allows apps to locally store and process data even without any network connectivity. Of course, eventually, you'll want your data to be hosted in a backend data center. For that, you have Couchbase Server, our flagship NoSQL, highly performant, elastically scalable data platform. Now, how does data get to the backend services? You've got Couchbase Sync Gateway, which is our middle tier component. This is responsible for data sync between Couchbase Lite clients and Couchbase Server. So essentially, you can make changes on the client, have it sync through the sync gateways where suitable access control policies are applied to ensure that only authorized clients have access to that data. Of course, you have bidirectional sync. So if you make any changes on the server side through, say, backend web services, they're going to be synced up to the clients that are authorized to have access to that data. We've been doing this for a very long time. We officially launched 1.0 version of Couchbase Lite and Sync Gateway in 2014 to provide the industry's first offline-first solution for mobile applications. Since then, our products have evolved and we launched 2.0 in 2018. We're currently at version 2.7, and with every release, we have enhanced our platform to cater to the demands of business-critical mobile applications. Our platform has been constantly evolving. We've been learning from the experiences of our large user base of production deployments. And today, we are ready to take it to the next stage with edge computing. So what is edge computing? Edge computing is a distributed computation framework that aims to bring data and compute closer to the applications that use it. So what kind of applications are we talking about here? For that, we first need to define the edge in edge computing. The edge is where data is stored and processed. So as such, the edge is a spectrum. It can be a standalone device such as a laptop, a smartphone, a tablet, a mobile point-of-sale terminal. Now, examples of applications that use the edge as a standalone device include healthcare workers in rural mobile clinics trying to access patient records in areas with no network connectivity, or utility workers accessing infrastructure maps and task lists in remote inspection sites. You can have insurance claims adjusters who have to take photographs and record claims information in offline mode. So there is this whole slew of field applications where the edge is a standalone device. Now, the other end of the spectrum, the edge can be a micro data center. Essentially, it is an aggregation point for storing and processing data on behalf of a number of downstream clients. A micro data center is functionally equivalent to a cloud data center, but it's typically much smaller footprint because the population of clients that it serves is much, much smaller. So an example of a micro data center could be a server in an IT closet in a cruise ship. There are these are typically data center installations that are co-located with the clients on the same local area network. Now, examples of edge computing applications where the edge is a micro data center would be cruise ships, where thousands of passengers aboard the ship can access the onboard services through their mobile application, even when the ship has no satellite connection to the backend data centers. Our hotel properties where guests can check in even when there is no internet connectivity or if there is an internet outage. Factories where health status, such as temperature, humidity, etc., are constantly monitored, of equipment are constantly monitored in real time, so you can immediately react to any deviations from the baseline. Now, sending all those alerts and that sensor information over the internet to backend data centers to have them processed in real time is not going to be practical. Now that we've looked at a few examples of edge computing applications, let's look at the characteristics of edge computing apps. You can sort of normalize the characteristics into four main buckets: resiliency, performance, security, and scale. These are the same fundamental characteristics that we spoke about in the context of business critical applications a few slides ago. This is an area that Couchbase is very familiar with. So today, I'm happy to announce the launch of 2.8 version of Sync Gateway and Couchbase Lite with enhancements for edge computing applications. First, I'll discuss the enhancements in Sync Gateway 2.8. In 2.8, we are announcing the release of our enterprise-grade sync solution for InterSync Gateway replication. So what does this mean? For business critical applications, which require real-time response and guaranteed high availability, an edge computing architecture can be deployed by distributing data storage and processing to the edge. The InterSync Gateway replication technology provides a robust, secure, bidirectional data sync between the distributed data centers. Now, these data centers could be between cloud data centers or can be between cloud and edge data centers. So elaborating this further, how does this fit in with the paradigm of edge computing that we spoke about earlier? Consider a distributed cloud architecture or an edge compute architecture with a cloud data center and tens or hundreds or thousands of edge data centers. Now, each edge has got a number of clients that are on the same local area network. You deploy Couchbase Server and Sync Gateway in the cloud data center, Couchbase Lite, which is embedded within the applications that are running on the clients. You can deploy Couchbase Server and Sync Gateway in the local micro edge data center. Clients in the local network, they sync data through the local data center. And the new InterSync Gateway replication protocol in 2.8 allows secure sync between the edge and the cloud data centers, and it can do this at scale. So some highlights of this new technology. First, replications can be uniformly distributed or automatically distributed among participating Sync Gateway nodes. So what this means is that if you have a replicating node that goes down, the replication will be automatically rebalanced to another node. The rebalanced replication will automatically resume from where it dropped off. There's built-in mechanism to handle data conflicts. Data conflicts arise when syncing a document that is updated concurrently on both the replicating endpoints. Here, Sync Gateway automatically resolves conflicts, or applications can define their own custom conflict resolver functions. The protocol can scale to sync to hundreds of thousands of edge clusters. In order to optimize bandwidth usage, we have delta sync technology that ensures that just parts of the document that have changed are synchronized. Finally, when you're talking about distributed cloud architectures, network resiliency is a must. The protocol is resilient to temporary or extended periods of network outage. Now, this extended periods, it could be order of minutes to days to months. In addition to our release defining feature, we have a number of notable enhancements on Sync Gateway. First, we have improved our support for OpenID Connect providers, OIDC providers, for Sync Gateway user authentication. The platform continues to evolve. We try to make it more cloud native. We have a new metrics endpoint that will expose the Sync Gateway stats in Prometheus compatible format. So now you can directly monitor Sync Gateway using Prometheus. As you may be aware, Prometheus is a very popular open source monitoring and alerting framework. It's been adopted by the Cloud Native Computing Foundation, or the CNCF. This capability, or the metrics endpoint, is available in developer preview and will be GA in a future release. Now, if all this sounds interesting, then I'll encourage you to attend these other sessions at Connect, where we'll go deeper into Sync Gateway. We'll also talk about the InterSync Gateway replication technology and, in general, the paradigm of edge computing. So switching gears to Couchbase Lite. So what's new in Couchbase Lite 2.8 for edge computing? In 2.8, we are introducing support for our enterprise-grade, secure bidirectional peer-to-peer data sync technology. You can sync data directly between Couchbase Lite-enabled devices without the need for a centralized control point. So how does Couchbase Lite's peer-to-peer technology fit in with the paradigm of edge computing? So let's start with the distributed cloud architecture. You have Couchbase Server and Sync Gateway and the Cloud Data Center. You've got client devices at the edge. Now, note that the edges are completely disconnected from the cloud data centers. Couchbase Lite is embedded in these client devices. Now, even if the clients are completely disconnected from the cloud, you would still want the clients to be able to collaborate or share data with each other in this disconnected environment. So, for example, workers at a remote construction site, which has no connectivity to the internet. Peer-to-peer sync allows direct collaboration between Couchbase Lite-enabled clients. Of course, these edges can operate in a completely disconnected mode, but you can also have the edge sync to a cloud data center. Now, in this kind of architecture, you typically would have a designated master node that's syncing data with the remote backend data servers, and it's distributing it to the local peers over the local area network. Now, very quickly, want to highlight the key capabilities. We have out-of-the-box support for TLS-based encryption and client-cert authentication. This is in addition to the basic authentication. So this means that as a developer, you would have to write literally 0 lines of codes to get encryption going with peer-to-peer sync. Data conflicts arising when one or more peers modify the data concurrently are resolved automatically by Couchbase Lite. Now, applications have a choice. You can use the built-in resolvers, or you can define your own custom conflict resolution function. Now, typically, field applications are deployed in remote sites where network connectivity is very, very unreliable. So you need a protocol that is resilient to network disruptions. It's not just resilient to network disruption, it should be able to recover from network failures in a timely fashion. Finally, the WebSockets-based protocol allows sync between heterogeneous platforms. So you can directly sync data between, say, a Java-based Couchbase Lite client and an iOS-based Couchbase Lite client. So you can sync between mobile and non-mobile Couchbase Lite platforms. All this in addition to the Couchbase Lite API enhancements. We continue to enhance the API. We evolve it to make it simpler for developers to build compelling workflows within their mobile applications. So these are some of the capabilities which have been frequently requested by our customers. So you'd be very happy to see that they are coming in 2.8. Again, we have a number of related sessions at Couchbase Connect this year. We'll dive deeper into the peer-to-peer functionality, where we'll have a demonstration of the same, and we have an advanced talk on Couchbase Lite. I'd like to wrap things up with some helpful resources. You can download the latest version of Couchbase Lite and Sync Gateway from our download site. You can start trying out the new features yourself. Got extensive documentation on everything that was discussed today. Whole lot of white papers and data sheets that help you get familiarized with the new technology. And thanks for watching, and hope you enjoy the rest of Couchbase Connect 2020. Thank you.